Trump descends from Air Force One like a modern emperor, arriving to rewrite history in the desert. He steps out, declaring, "I'll solve 3,000 years of conflict in 3 days." Back in Washington, the left sneers. See? He thinks he's a king. Meanwhile, in Beijing, Xi sulks because nobody invited China. In Israel, the welcome is overwhelming. Streets are lined with American and Israeli flags, crowds cheering, leaders calling Trump a historic friend. Inside the Knesset, Prime Minister Netanyahu declares Trump the greatest friend Israel has ever had in the White House and says no American president has ever done more for Israel. It isn't even close. His name will be inscribed in the history of our people. And across Gaza, Palestinians cheer, waving scarves, chanting, "I love you, Trump." Yesterday they shouted, "War." Today they chant his name. Imagine that. The man America's left calls a dictator shouted like a hero in Jerusalem and Gaza, and praised in Israel's parliament as a statesman. In Arab capitals, praise pours in. Egypt's President El-Sisi calls Trump the only one who can bring peace to the region, even saying his plan is the last chance for peace. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Jordan, Qatar, and others issue a joint statement welcoming Trump's sincere efforts and backing his push to rebuild Gaza and prevent displacement. In the Middle East, speeches don't win respect. Strength does. And Trump deals in strength. Arab leaders may praise Trump, but the real question is, will this peace deal last? To answer that, we have to look at history. The Oslo Accords of the 1990s were full of hope. Arafat and Rabin shook hands on the White House lawn. They even got the Nobel Peace Prize. But Oslo had one fatal flaw: no enforcement. When Israel kept building settlements, nothing happened. When Palestinian militants launched attacks, nothing happened. The deal left the final status of Jerusalem, the right of return for Palestinian refugees, and the permanent borders of a Palestinian state. For later, and later never came. Rabin was assassinated, Arafat was poisoned, and Hamas rose. So, instead of peace, the region got a second intifada. Oslo became a symbol of promises without power. Then came Biden's diplomacy. In 2024, he announced a 3-phase roadmap: ceasefire, withdrawal, reconstruction. It sounded balanced, but it lacked teeth. No real pressure on either side, just committees and good intentions. Militias don't fear roadmaps. They fear consequences. And because Biden avoided tough leverage, aid kept flowing, sanctions were weak, the rockets kept flying. His plan collapsed before it began. Now comes Trump's 20-point plan. Phase 1. Hostages released, guns silenced. Already shows progress. Phase 2. Hamas disarmament is tough, maybe the toughest. But unlike Oslo and Biden, Trump ties peace to power. Compliance gets reconstruction, defiance gets punishment. It's sticks and carrots, not just speeches. So will it work? Maybe not perfectly, maybe not forever. But compared to Oslo's handshakes and Biden's committees, Trump's deal has something the others never had: enforcement. In the Middle East, without enforcement, peace collapses and uprisings return. That's why Trump's plan faces its hardest test next: forcing Hamas to disarm. Inside Gaza, Hamas is tearing itself apart. One faction says, "Hand them over, survive another day." The other growls, "Surrender your guns and you surrender Gaza." And the stakes? Crystal clear. Refuse, and Israel pounds Gaza again. Arab allies turn their backs. Hamas leaders lose not just power, but protection. Yet Trump's plan offers a narrow escape. Lay down your arms, keep your lives. Foot soldiers might get amnesty, even badges in a new Gaza police force. Ordinary gunmen could walk free or get jobs to reintegrate into normal life. The price? Senior leaders exiled to Doha or Ankara. Kalashnikovs melted into scrap. Hamas's grip on Gaza gone. Ordinary families whisper, maybe this is our chance at normal life. Militants fear, without guns they become irrelevant. This isn't just disarmament, it's dismemberment of Hamas's power, its ideology, its future. And whether they comply or resist, Gaza will never be the same. All year the buzz said Trump would take the Nobel. Rockets silenced, hostages home, Arab capitals praising, Israel ecstatic. Then, surprise. The committee looked elsewhere. Asked about Trump's snub, the Nobel Peace Prize chair said, "This committee sits in a room filled with the portraits of all laureates, filled with courage and integrity. We base our decision only on the work and the will of Alfred Nobel." Does that mean he called Trump lacking courage or integrity? Not directly. It's a classic process answer, defending their criteria, not naming names. Now remember, Obama got the prize after just 11 days in office. 11. He hadn't even finished unpacking his socks. And years back, Rabin, Peres, and Arafat won for handshakes that led nowhere. So maybe the committee prefers speeches to enforcement, visions over results. Or maybe Trump's image as a trade war bruiser made Oslo squeamish. Tariffs and pressure don't look pretty on a podium, even if they stop rockets and bring prisoners home. Question for the audience. What matters more, a medal in Europe or a night of silence in Jerusalem and Gaza? Back in Washington, the left isn't cheering, they're raging. Anchors sneer, dictator diplomacy. Activists scream, photo ops, not peace. And their big demand? Recognize Palestine as a state. But here's the reality. There is no functioning Palestinian government to recognize. Gaza is run by militias, the West Bank by a hollow PA. Trump's plan at least gives Palestinians a shot to rebuild institutions first, then claim statehood on solid ground. To the left, peace in Gaza is just background noise. The main show is Washington, and the script is always the same. Attack Trump, no matter the cost. If Washington is split, Beijing is furious. China wanted to pose as the great mediator of the global South. But Trump landing in the Middle East and pulling off a ceasefire steals the show. Chinese state media mumble about balance and dialogue. But the real problem is simple. Quiet rockets mean less leverage for Beijing. A US-Arab reconstruction plan pushes China's Belt and Road out of Gaza. Trump's deal shows America still dictates the big tables. Moscow isn't happy either. Russia thrives on chaos. Chaos keeps oil prices high and America distracted. But Trump's peace means stability, and stability means Moscow loses its favorite weapon. So, while Arab streets clap, Beijing sulks and Moscow shrugs. For them, peace isn't a prize, it's a problem. Trump walks off the tarmac claiming he solved 3,000 years of conflict in 3 days. Israel cheers. Arab leaders nod. Even Hamas looks confused. The Nobel? Still stuck in Oslo, polishing medals for speeches. So Netanyahu steps in. If Oslo won't honor Trump, Israel will. He suggests awarding Trump the nation's highest prize, one never given to a non-Israeli before. For Trump, that's better than Oslo. Fewer handshakes, more headlines, and leftists foaming at the mouth. Thank you for watching Pastcast, where the past echoes through today. If you enjoyed the satire, scrolls, and scandals, like, subscribe, and ring the bell before the next empire falls.